Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the honeypac podcast, sponsored by Brown Editing LLC. If you want to elevate your resume, your cover letter, your application, holler at me at Brown Editing LLC, and I'd love to help you out and elevate your life today. So we're gonna have a little dance break. You know, we always start off with a little dance break because get you going in the morning. All right, so this morning I just felt on my spirit and on my heart. I wanted to do an episode to break up the monotony of the just dropping the WashU tapes on how I got suspended from law school and get suspended from law school with me. I wanted to make this a little bit more personal and actually give some advice from what I've learned after being suspended from law school in this moment, because as I'm re-listening to the tapes, and I haven't listened to these tapes in a little while because they're really traumatic and traumatizing for me, and I really don't like feeling traumatized. It's not fun. So I don't listen to these tapes regularly. They're not really a central part of my litigation strategy. Obviously WashU ops are watching anything and everything I post, so I'm not gonna get too much into that, but it is what it is. They did what they did. It's really not anything more than me trying to warn the public about what I didn't know could happen to you in law school if you don't adhere to white supremacist things and feelings, and center their senses of comfort. So it's more like a public safety warning why I dropped all that stuff. I'm not really trying to shame anyone. I'm trying to explain and show the extent to which white supremacy permeates law school environments. So without further ado, there are going to be two parts of this podcast. The first part is going to be advice to people who have reached out to me, because a lot of people have reached out to me about academic dismissals and how they want to get back into law school and they don't know how to go about that process. So I'm not going to get into too much specific advice because I do personalized coaching on my platform, Brown Editing LLC. And if you'd like to reach out to me there, I'm more than happy to help you. I've helped lots of different people get back into law school after they've been academically dismissed or dismissed for any other reason, whether it's student conduct related, you name it. I've helped people getting back into law school or transfer to a new law school, as I did myself when WashU suspended me, erroneously for complaining of race and sex discrimination at their institution. I transferred for my last year to Georgetown and then graduated with my JD in 2024. So the first part of the episode, I'm going to talk about what to do if you've been academically dismissed. In the second part of the episode, I'm going to talk about how not to get suspended from law school. And I'm going to talk about that very plainly. I'm not really going to say that you shouldn't. Just as a preface, I'm never saying and I'm never intending for people to take what I'm saying as please be quiet and accept oppression. That is never the message on this page. If you get nothing else from this fucking video, I'm never saying be quiet and accept oppression. Fuck that. Absolutely not. That's not. Revolution is the only way that people are going to get free. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The revolution will not be litigated. That's not negotiable on this platform. And I want to make that unequivocally clear. But at the same time, I do want to give some advice about if you don't want to get suspended, how you might want to maneuver yourself around white people to utilize their whiteness to protect you and insulate you from some of the violence that you might encounter. So let's get into this first part about what you should do if you've been academically dismissed from law school. So the first thing that I want you to do is we're going to take a collective breath together so that we can really recenter ourselves. And exhale. Okay, good. So if you've been academically dismissed, I can understand that you're probably dealing with so much negative messaging in your own brain and from outside sources telling you that you're not good enough, because literally that's what an academic dismissal means. It's like a very strong message of someone telling you that you are not good enough to proceed within this institution. But I want you to sit with that apart from the way that you sit with yourself and your self-worth. because someone telling you that you aren't good enough isn't indicative of your worth as a person. When I got suspended, I felt like the world was crashing down around me and I didn't really understand the gravity of the situation, in that I just completely tried to dissociate in any way I could. I tried to, escape any way I could. I literally left for the weekend to Chicago with my friends because I literally could not stand to be in the same state or like the same apartment where I knew that they might arrest me, because my apartment was literally on the map, disseminated by the WashU Police Department, and the WashU Police Department was instructed to arrest me if I was found to be on campus. Now, WashU precluded me from going on campus in any capacity. I couldn't even go to a local AMC movie theater to watch Black Panther with my friends as a part of a school event, because they said that that was considered on campus. So there really was no boundary as to what was on campus and what was off campus during my suspension. It was just like, don't interact with anyone from WashU, and if you do, you could be arrested or worse. So getting back to the point of like what to do when you've been academically dismissed, I'm trying to say, I know that it's very, very heavy right now, and I know that it's very emotionally taxing and draining, and you might feel like you're at a loss for words. Like you don't know how to go about this. You don't know what's next. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with those feelings. And I think that knowing that you have those feelings and being able to recognize them and say, something isn't right here. I don't feel good. I need to work through this and talk with someone, or I need to work through this and go to my community. I need to go through this and go to church or go to any place that I feel like I can really express myself and really get to the bottom of why this happened and why I feel like this is an indicative, or it's coloring my perception of myself. It doesn't have to color your perception of yourself, is like the most important thing about all of this. Like when you get suspended, when you get academically dismissed, all of these things are white supremacist in nature. Like all of these institutions, they operate on a white supremacist framework. They are not meant to make you feel comfortable. They are not meant to make you feel okay about yourself. They are not meant to make you feel like you are enough or that you are talented enough. You have the skills to be able to succeed in society. They are made to make you feel like you are alienated and excluded from the majority or, everyone else. That's the purpose of these institutions. That's the purpose of the quote unquote excellence, for you to have to earn your acceptance or your entry into these spaces because you feel like you are better than everyone else. And now that you've been told you are not better than everyone else because they are saying you no longer fit within the prescribed standards or, anything like that, you don't deserve to live, deserve to be in this space. And I just want you all to realize that that is not true. These exams, especially in the liberal arts, especially, and not saying that there aren't things that are, subjective within mathematics or STEM or anything like that. I'm just saying that these systems and these places are not intended to make you feel good. They're not intended to promote equity. They are created and promoted to have one small section of the population be exceptional compared to everyone else. And excluding you is to their benefit. That's what they're trying to inculcate and teach you as a result of taking you out of this field. And then you have predatory law schools. You have predatory law schools that are just bent on killing niggas or taking their money or, just harming people and defrauding them so that they can make their bottom line bigger and telling them things that are not true about themselves. Like that I'm a threat or that I'm harassing or that I'm harming people by sharing the opinion that the white supremacy is not good. for anyone, let alone white people. They're trying to make you feel a certain type of way. And I think that it's really key here, if you've been academically dismissed from a law school, or you've been, sanctioned by a institution, the first step of that is reckoning with what has happened to you. But the second step is realizing, fuck these people. Like, on some real shit, fuck these people. Like, it doesn't really matter what they're saying about you, because that's not you. They're just saying that. Like, you have to separate, like, they're talking from, like, your actual personhood. Like, those are two separate things that don't have to overlap if you don't want them to. Like, I hate, I was gonna say, like, I hate Eleanor Roosevelt, like, for her quote that says, like, no one can make you feel inferior but yourself. But there is some truth to that. Like, because, I'm not trying to champion a imperialist here, but at the same time, I'm trying to really speak to a message about not giving a shit about what people think of you. Because at the end of giving a shit about what people think of you is freedom. Freedom to be yourself, freedom to be Black, freedom to be who you are, freedom to be liberated, freedom to be everything that God intended you to be, or your creator intended you to be, or the universe intended you to be. At the end of recognizing that their shit that they think about you is limited, and it's really just confined to what they think, and it doesn't have to bleed into what you think of yourself, that's paramount in overcoming and taking whatever perceived failure you have encountered into success and moving forward and getting up every day and making sure that you can function and creating the life that you want to have going forward. Because this is a very limited experience. I hate saying the cliches, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team and all that, but there's some truth to that shit. Like, you cannot let people's opinion of you stop you from getting where you need to be and going where you need to go and being who you need to become. If you internalize their negative messaging about you, it's only going to put you back and only going to negatively impact who you are as a person. Because you ever meet those fucking miserable old bitches who have nothing going for themselves but misery, grief, and they call little girls fast, and they're mean as hell, and they don't have candies they might have candies in their purse, but them bitches is stale, and they're just mean people to be around. Like, no one's like, oh yeah, I want to go over to Sue's house. Fuck Sue. I mean, I don't know even what I'm talking about, but I don't know Sue. I don't know a person. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go over to their house because they got bad vibes. Like, you will end up living a very lonely, unfulfilling life if you let these perspectives of other people seep into your understanding of yourself. Because a lot of what other people do in life is just a self-reflection of how they feel about themselves. People do not like themselves. People really do not fuck with themselves. People wake up every day and be like, I hate myself. And then turn around and try to make you hate yourself. I don't hate myself. I know I'm great. I know I'm talented. I know I'm that nigga. I know I'm that bitch. I know I'm both. I know I have what it takes to be the person that I want to be and become the person I want to become and become the best civil rights attorney of all time, whatever the fuck that means to me, and live in my truth and my purpose every day. And I've just resolved that that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And no one else, whether it's WashU, whoever watches this video and wants to take it and say I'm violent and run to, whomever, that's not the truth. I know how I act. I know what I've done. And all throughout that hearing, when I was up against these people, I had to remind myself every day that I went up against those people, I had to remind myself, you didn't do that shit. You are not guilty. Why the fuck would you take a plea deal or sign a non-disparagement agreement or sign a release of all claims that says you did that shit? You didn't do shit. So because I didn't do anything, now I have the right to speak on whatever happened to me at WashU. Now I have the right to go and, publish the recordings that they also have copies of, because the thing is also I'm getting a lot of messaging around, oh, well, are you allowed to publish this? They have their own copies. They were recording me. This was a two-sided interaction. Like literally before every fucking Zoom call that we would go on, it would say, this call is recorded. If this call is recorded and everyone fucking knows that the call is being recorded, how the fuck is my recording not allowed? You're recording the shit. So I'm just supposed to, I'm sorry, I'm getting heated right now, but I'm sorry, I'm getting heated because it's like, it's also kind of like, do you not realize that people are protecting themselves? You have to protect you too. You cannot just rely on whatever the fuck people are saying about you. You have to look out for you, and you have to look out for your community and the people who you care about and the people who you believe have worth and value in this community, in this system. For you to be able to champion their interests in aggressive, fucked up hearings, kangaroo courts even, that other people will put you in. If you don't have a strong sense of self, which my dad, hats off to my mother and my father, who always taught me to challenge authority and have reasons for things. My parents were not the type of people who would say, oh, well, you do this because I say so. No, they would Google the shit in front of me and then be like, yeah, little nigga, if you don't fucking wash your ass, you're gonna end up with sepsis and die. And I would be like, fuck. Well, I mean, I was cursing as a child, but that's a whole nother issue. What I'm saying is, the point of what I'm saying is that I wasn't raised in a way that was like, oh, you just do things because I tell you to. There was a lot of logical reasoning, and you do this because it makes sense and because science says so and because we have tried other things and those other things don't work. Like, my family has the pedigree, the black pedigree on both sides of my family that it does, because what we do in our family is we get educated. That was our way after slavery. After slavery broke, everyone was like, okay, what do we have to do? We have to get educated. We have to go to school. We have to go to, and they worked really, really fucking hard to make it happen. That's what my family is all about. Like, we do trial and error. We have reasons for things. We don't just blindly follow, oh, no. So all I want to basically say to y'all is that you need to ensure that their perception of things and life doesn't impact how you are seeing yourself and life and how you're seeing your ability to succeed. You just gotta, balls to the wall. Yeah, I want to do this shit. Fuck whoever doesn't believe in me. Fuck whoever doesn't think that I can do it. Fuck whoever, thinks that I am just doing too much, or, a Cash Doll song that's like, bitch, you doing too much. Bitch, you not doing enough. That's what she says. And a lot of these people, they're not doing enough. They don't love themselves. They don't care about themselves. They're really just going through the motions of life, and they're not taking life by the balls, which is what you should do. You should take life by the balls and say, fuck these motherfuckers if they don't like you. Fuck them if they don't pay your bills, if they're not laying in bed with you at night. You too can stop forest fires. No, I'm just kidding. But you too can, muscle up and fight for your rights. Like, that's what you have to do. And a lot of these people, they're banking on you not fighting. So much of life is about showing up. So much of life is about sweeping the roof. Y'all know what sweeping the roof is about? You don't have to sweep a roof. You just gotta be there. Like, sweeping a roof job is like, I was listening to my favorite podcast and he was like, I had a no-show job. I had a sweeping the roof job. What do? You show up, you sweep the roof. Exactly. But so much of knowing that you can do things is also sweeping the roof. All you have to do is show up and tell people, this is what I have to offer. Either you take it or you leave it. Don't beg anybody for shit. I'm never going to beg someone to understand me or see my worth. I'm never like, and that's another thing why, like, with this whole like law school application thing, like when you're trying to apply to get into a better school, if you don't want to fuck with me and you don't want my help, that's fine. Like, I have no problem about it. Because I got people who do want to fuck with me and do want to use me as their resource and understand that I bring a lot to the table. Yeah, I might curse a lot. I can stop that if it makes you uncomfortable, like in our personal like stuff, in our personal, professional relationship. I have no problem, making accommodations. At the same time, real recognize real. If you understand that I've worked a lot of places and I know a lot of people and I know how to get where you would want to go in the legal profession because I worked here for 5 years, I kind of understand the layout. I'm not a dumbass. I understand how to write. I understand how to create a resume. I understand how to make a cover letter. I can write your application so it sounds convincing and compelling, because I will tell you when something sounds like bullshit. You're not going to pull the wool over my eyes and I'm just going to say, oh, well, yeah, that sounds good. If it sounds like dog shit. I'm not. You're paying me for a service. You paying me to tell you this is dog shit. I will tell you that it's dog shit, and that's why you're paying me. Like, the thing is, so much of this law school creator TikTok is all about niceness, and not saying I'm not nice, because I'll be very friendly and very, very, like, I won't say like, oh, this is dog shit, but I will tell you, this is not gonna get you no money. This is not gonna sell you. You're not gonna get into this. Oh, I will never tell a client that they will not get in somewhere, because I've seen some things. And anything can happen. But what I'm saying is that I will tell you, you can make things better this way. If you expand upon the narrative in this way, this will be very compelling, because very few people are going to talk about it in this way. If you have certain things in your background, like, oh, you went to juvie, oh, you went to jail, oh, you're trying to rehabilitate yourself and show yourself in the eyes of the legal profession that you have changed and now you want to become a lawyer, I can do that for you, because that's what I did for myself. That's how I got from WashU to Georgetown. That's how I got from Michigan to WashU. That's how I got into law school without even submitting an LSAT score. You just have to know how to sell yourself and know how to sell your story. Like, that's the whole thing behind if you've been academically dismissed. You cannot let your self-worth be tainted by what they think of you. You're going to have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move the fuck on and say, you didn't understand that what I had going on was worthy of you passing me, or was worthy of whatever. Maybe I needed to elevate some things, but the fact of the matter is, more likely than not, you were probably a predatory law school, and that's why I don't really fuck with you anymore. And that's why I'm going to elevate and move from where I was to something brand new, something better, something will give me better employment prospects at the end of my law school journey. Something that's going to help me move up in the world, as opposed to just thinking, oh shit, I got academically dismissed. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do next. That's okay. You do have to have those moments, but at the same time, they do not define you. Those moments are not all that you are. Those moments are just pieces of your story. Moments along the journey. When I got suspended from law school, it was like all encompassing. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But you have to realize, racism is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. It's like that's not something that you can really. What you gonna do? Make them not racist? This motherfucker probably 55 years old, being racist as hell to a 25-year-old woman who's just trying to get her education and move on and challenge and have intellectual conversation with her classmates. And you don't want her to have that because you think that that's not appropriate. She should just be happy to be there and shut the fuck up and be a grinning little Negro that doesn't challenge anything. That is a thing that people really want from us. And I'm just here to tell you, I'm not that nigga. You might not be that nigga either. I'm saying you don't have to be that person to succeed, to move on with your life, to build a successful business like I have with Brown Editing, to fight for your rights in litigation, to exert yourself as someone who knows what they're talking about, who knows that they can fight for their rights, can fight for who they are and who they were back in the day. because I didn't do that shit to deserve that shit. I did not do that shit. And they accused me of some shit I did not do, had no evidence to back it up. And then they pocketed my scholarship and my financial aid refund and lied to the bar. Yes, I'm suing you. You're fucking with my livelihood. And so like that's like at the end of the day, you have to just know your own worth and be able to fight for you. Because no one's going to fight harder for you than you. No one is going to pick up the phone and start calling people and being like, how am I going to get over this? Unless you don't take that step forward first yourself. You have to want to advocate for yourself. Because no one else is going to advocate as hard as for you as you will for you. And, you know, that's kind of all I got to say about this first part. About if you've been academically dismissed, you know, my heart goes out to you. I know how it feels to be dismissed from an institution, not for academic reasons, but for racial and sexual, you know, retaliation in terms of complaining about racial and sexual harassment and them doing nothing about it and wanting to harm you as a result of it. That's what I know about, but I've helped numerous people through my business get into better schools, pivot and move on to something different. If they want to go from a law school to an MBA program, if they want to go from an MPA program to a law program because they were dismissed, or, you know, you have it. Whatever you have it, I got you. Because a compelling narrative and a compelling story is something that I know how to do very well. And my track record shows it. You can go check out my reviews or anything like that. I'm not trying to sell you shit. If you don't want to go get it, it's all good. You know, ain't no shame. So without further ado, let's get to number 2. If you're trying to ensure that you don't get suspended from law school, be a pussy. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that's really like all that I can say is like, if you don't want to stand up against racism or sexism or hatred and you feel like that's not you and you don't feel like that's something that you can do, don't do it. Like, it's really that simple. Like, I don't really think that there was anything else that could have prevented me from getting suspended from law school. I think that at the end of the day, these people had a conspiracy and a long list of shit that I had complained about that they were like, you know what? This bitch gotta go. And they made me go. And so I was suspended temporarily for 6 months, and they had an agenda. And it was an illegal agenda, but they wanted to retaliate against me for making all these complaints against Professor Katz and retaliate against me for potentially harming their employment in the future. So they're acting in their own self-interest to say, you know, I don't think that this bitch is safe to be around or have in the classroom because I might say something racist and then she's going to complain about it and I might lose my job. And that's real. I mean, I guess, but that's illegal. Like, you can do that, but like, it's fucking illegal. So like, I mean, this ain't the end. Like, I got a ton of more stuff to post and like a ton of more stuff to listen to and re-traumatize myself through by trying to inform the public that that's not a fucking safe place to be. You know, you might die. Literally, I almost died. And I'm not even joking about that. Like, I'm joking about it like in a tone, like my tone is joking, but I'm dead ass serious when I said I almost fucking died. So yeah, my grandmother passed like 2 months ago, and one of the last things I remember her saying to me was, shit happens. And at the end of the day, you're not your mistakes. I don't think I could have done anything really differently to stop myself from getting suspended from law school other than not complain of race and sex discrimination, which are protected activities under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So, you know, if I could have potentially not done that, yeah, absolutely. And in the closing statement of the hearing, you'll hear me say, you know, had I known that I would experience this type of pain, I might not have ever, or maybe I say I wouldn't have ever complained of race and sex discrimination. That's real as fuck, and I probably said that because in that moment I was, you know, undergoing really, really bad like mental and spiritual turmoil. Like, I was like not in a good place at all. My fiance and I had broken up. My ex-boyfriend, I guess, and I had broken up, and like, I was going through the hearing at the same time. I was like really beside myself and like not in a good place mentally. Like I was really struggling. I was really, really fucking struggling, and WashU just like, made my life hell, for lack of a better term. Um, and traumatized me, and then revoked my scholarship and stole my money. So I'm not gonna rehash all the things that I've already said, but long story short, if you get anything from this episode, if you take anything away, I'm just here to encourage you. You can do this. I'm rooting for you all the way. If you want personalized, individualized advice and help, I'm more than happy to help you out at browneditingllc.com. I have hourly rates. I have unlimited package rates for, editing. So, and I accept Klarna and Afterpay. So, I know the economy is very tough right now. So if you're trying to work on the budget and work under budget, and if my stuff isn't in budget, reach out to me. I'm a regular person like anybody else. Like, I understand shit happens. If you only got $50 to your name and you're like, I get paid in 3 weeks, let's work something out. Let's get you into grad school. Let's get you into law school. Talk to me. I'm really trying to help people with my business. It's not just all about making money all the time. Sometimes it's actually about trying to help people and help individuals. So, if nothing else, I hope that, you understand that I'm really trying to be sincere here. I'm really trying to just tell you all the truth. I really have no ulterior motive, like, oh, let me get clout or whatever. No, this is real shit that happened to me. And if someone else who I know that this has happened to made these videos and went public the way that they did, I would not be in the position that I am today. And so hopefully it helps somebody. Hopefully I can help, if I even help just one person, I've done my fucking job. And I've helped definitely more than one person. Like, for your messages, thank you all for all your messages and all your support and all your outreach. I really appreciate y'all. Like, y'all are, like, the amount of support that I've gotten, like, already, and I haven't even really gotten into the hearing. Like, that was just me getting suspended. When we get into the hearing, like, you're really gonna understand, like, why I was so, like, upset about the fact that they accused me of shit I didn't do, because they really had no fucking evidence that I did anything. And then they revoked my scholarship and took my stuff. Okay, so let me get off of here. Let me get off of here before I just start, spiraling and stuff, and getting really mad. Yeah. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. It's Friday. Go out, pop that ass, pop that coochie, bust it open for a real one. Bro, boys don't deserve no pussy. I know that's right. Oh, you already know how it is. Have a wonderful weekend, y'all. Peace. I was supposed to be saying goodbye because like the influencers do, but I didn't do it right. So, bye, y'all.